Did you know that by the time your toddler turns 3, they will have heard about 30 million words? That's right, 30 million. But here's the shocking part. Research shows that children from language-rich environments develop stronger communication skills, while those exposed to fewer words often struggle later in school. That's why the way you communicate with your toddler now can shape their future success. In this video, we're going to dive deep into how to master toddler communication and set your little one up for a lifetime of success. Whether they're babbling or throwing a tantrum, your toddler is always trying to tell you something. We'll share expert tips and strategies to help you decode their language, boost their vocabulary, and turn every moment into a learning opportunity. So, if you're ready to turn those frustrating moments into teaching ones, keep watching. We're about to unlock the secrets of toddler talk. Chapter 1. The Silent Power. Reading between the lines of toddler behavior. Toddlers are not only communicating with words, but also through their body language. It's easy to overlook, but their gestures, facial expressions, and even posture say a lot. For example, when a toddler reaches for something with their hands open wide, it's a sign they are curious or excited. Understanding these nonverbal signals helps parents connect in ways that go beyond words. One key strategy is observing their facial expressions. A smile often means joy, but if their eyebrows furrow or their lips curl, it could indicate frustration. Did you know that babies start understanding facial expressions at just 6 months old? By tuning into these signs, you can learn what your toddler needs before they even speak. Another important cue is physical movement. A child might walk over to a toy they want or push it away if they're uninterested. This silent communication is often clearer than words, especially before they develop a larger vocabulary. Parents can reinforce these behaviors with verbal responses, guiding them to connect the action with language. Experts say that early understanding of body language builds a solid foundation for verbal communication later. In fact, research shows that babies who interact with caregivers who respond to their nonverbal cues develop speech skills faster. When parents acknowledge these early signals, they reinforce the idea that communication goes both ways. To improve this, you can mirror your toddler's movements. If they wave, wave back. This subtle mirroring reinforces connection. It's also a way of validating their feelings, even if they can't articulate them yet. Toddlers who feel understood are more likely to attempt verbal communication, knowing their parent is actively engaged in the conversation. Don't be afraid to pause and allow your toddler to lead. Sometimes the most effective communication happens in silence, simply by observing their cues and responding in a calm, attentive manner. Chapter 2. From Screams to Words. Turning tantrums into teaching moments. Tantrums are a common challenge for parents, but they can be a stepping stone to better communication. A toddler's meltdown is often their way of expressing frustration or unmet needs, not just bad behavior. Instead of viewing tantrums as a nuisance, consider them a teaching opportunity. When your child screams because they can't express what they want, it's a sign that they're trying to communicate something important. Understanding that tantrums stem from a lack of language skills can shift your approach to a more empathetic one. Did you know that research shows 70% of tantrums happen when a toddler's emotional needs are unmet? By learning what triggers these outbursts, you can prevent them from escalating. One powerful strategy to manage tantrums is to stay calm. Your calmness will model how to handle big emotions, teaching your child self-regulation. Experts recommend breathing deeply when you feel your own frustration rising. It shows your toddler that staying composed is possible, even when feelings are intense. In the middle of a tantrum, don't ignore your child's feelings. Instead, label their emotions. Saying things like, "I can see you're really upset because you want that toy," helps toddlers begin to associate emotions with words. This strategy, called emotional labeling, is proven to reduce tantrum frequency over time. Sometimes, after the tantrum subsides, it's helpful to have a conversation. Sit down with your child and gently explain what happened. This reinforces the connection between their feelings and the words needed to express them. You can even give them a choice next time, like, "Would you like to play with the truck or the blocks?" Giving toddlers choices empowers them to use their voice. Also, try distracting them with a redirection technique. Offering a different toy or activity can shift their focus away from frustration. This works best when your toddler is calm enough to take a break from the tantrum. Most importantly, keep in mind that tantrums are normal at this age and don't reflect poor parenting. With patience and consistent response, your toddler will begin to connect their emotions with appropriate verbal expressions. Chapter 3. The Language of Play. How games fuel toddler talk. Playtime isn't just fun, it's an essential part of learning how to communicate. When toddlers play, they're not just having a good time, they're practicing new words and concepts. Play is the perfect time for parents to step in and model language in a fun, natural way. Pretend play, for example, is a great way to encourage speech. When you and your toddler pretend to cook dinner or care for a baby doll, you're using new words that your toddler will start to adopt. Pretending with your child activates areas of the brain responsible for both imagination and language development. This is why play is one of the best tools for improving vocabulary. Interactive games, like building blocks or matching cards, also enhance language skills. As you play together, talk about what you're doing. I'm putting the red block on top of the blue one. What color is this block? Simple questions like this encourage your child to respond and start building their vocabulary. Another fun activity is singing songs with actions. For example, the classic "Wheels on the Bus" teaches toddlers words and concepts like open, close, and round and round, all while making the experience engaging and interactive. Songs with repetitive lyrics are great for toddlers because they build confidence as they learn to predict the next word. Parents can also foster language skills by introducing new toys or activities that require communication. A toy telephone, for instance, can encourage toddlers to engage in pretend conversations, mimicking the back and forth exchange of words. This type of play supports social skills and conversational turn-taking, two key aspects of effective communication. Don't forget to let your toddler lead the play when possible. Following their lead shows them that you value their thoughts, and it encourages them to be more expressive. By following their cues, you're not only showing support but also reinforcing their own voice in the process. And remember, every time your toddler imitates your words or adds a new sentence, celebrate the milestone. Positive reinforcement helps them feel proud of their communication skills, encouraging them to continue expanding their vocabulary. Playtime isn't just about fun, it's an essential part of their journey toward mastering language. Through these games and interactions, toddlers learn the fundamental building blocks of effective communication. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss more helpful parenting tips. Chapter 4. Echoes of You. How your words shape toddler speech development. The words you use around your toddler are more important than you might think. From the moment they are born, babies start listening and absorbing sounds. By the time they're toddlers, they are already familiar with many words, even if they can't say them yet. According to a study by the American Academy of Pediatrics, children who hear a rich vocabulary at a young age are more likely to develop strong language skills later in life. One simple strategy to boost speech development is to talk to your toddler as much as possible. Even when they don't respond, it helps to narrate your day. For example, you could say, "We're going to the store now. Look, here's a red apple. What color is it?" Talking aloud gives your toddler a chance to hear different words and understand their meanings. This is called language modeling. A great tool for encouraging language growth is reading aloud. Did you know that children who are read to every day are exposed to 1.4 million more words by the time they turn 5? Reading expands their vocabulary and helps them understand sentence structure. Start with simple picture books and ask questions like, "What's this animal called?" or "Can you point to the cat?" These interactions stimulate word recall. Using open-ended questions is another helpful strategy. Rather than asking yes or no questions, try asking questions that require a more detailed response. Instead of asking, "Did you play with your toys?" ask, "What did you do with your toys today?" This prompts your toddler to think and respond with more than a single word. Parents should also avoid baby talk as much as possible. Using correct words, even if your toddler can't pronounce them perfectly, helps them learn proper language patterns. You might say, "Let's go outside and play," rather than, "Let's go out and play," which might confuse their learning process. Lastly, try to limit screen time. Research shows that children under 18 months should avoid screen time altogether, and those over 18 months should only engage in high-quality content. Too much passive screen time can limit opportunities for verbal interaction and hinder speech development. The key takeaway? Your toddler's language skills grow through the words they hear, so make sure to provide a rich, interactive language environment to help them thrive. Chapter 5. Tuning into Toddler Talk. The art of active listening. One of the most overlooked skills in toddler communication is active listening. When a toddler starts babbling or attempting to form words, it's easy to dismiss them or brush it off as just noise. But active listening is one of the most powerful tools you can use to encourage better communication. Active listening is about being fully present. Put down your phone, make eye contact, and listen to what your toddler is saying. Even if their speech is unclear or not fully formed, they will feel validated when you show interest. In fact, studies have shown that toddlers who feel listened to develop higher self-esteem and stronger communication skills. A key strategy is to reflect what they say. If your toddler says, "I want to play ball," you can respond with, "You want to play with the ball? That sounds fun." This mirrors their words and encourages them to keep talking. This approach is also known as parroting, and it helps toddlers expand their vocabulary and understanding. Another way to actively listen is to give your toddler time to express themselves. It can be tempting to jump in and finish their sentences, but it's important to let them take their time. If they're struggling to find the right word, give them a moment of patience to work through it. By doing this, you show respect for their efforts, which builds confidence. Listening also means responding thoughtfully. If they ask a question, instead of just answering it quickly, elaborate. For instance, if they ask, "Where's the dog?" you might say, "The dog is outside, running in the yard. Do you see the dog's tail wagging?" This adds more detail, which helps them learn new words and concepts. Another tip is to get down to their level. When talking to toddlers, kneel or squat to be at eye level. This makes the conversation feel more personal and engaging. Research shows that children are more likely to listen and respond when they feel they have your full attention. Lastly, remember that listening is a two-way street. Encourage your toddler to listen as well. You can say, "Let's listen to the birds outside," and then pause to listen together. This teaches them that communication is not only about speaking but also about listening. By practicing active listening, you're building a deeper connection with your toddler and promoting healthy communication habits that will last a lifetime. Chapter 6. Beyond No. Mastering positive communication with your toddler. One of the biggest challenges for parents is managing a toddler's behavior, especially when the word no seems to be a constant part of the conversation. While it's natural to say no to keep your child safe, excessive negativity can limit your toddler's communication development. Instead, focus on positive communication strategies that encourage better behavior. The first strategy is to offer choices rather than just a no. For example, instead of saying, "No, you can't have that toy," you could say, "Would you like the truck or the car to play with?" This approach gives your toddler a sense of control, which helps them feel empowered. Research shows that when children are given choices, they're more likely to follow directions and express themselves clearly. Another effective technique is to redirect their behavior. Rather than saying no when they're doing something you don't like, suggest a more appropriate activity. If your toddler is throwing food, for instance, you can say, "We don't throw food. Let's put it back on the plate." By redirecting their attention, you teach them what is acceptable without creating negative feelings. Positive reinforcement also plays a crucial role. Instead of focusing on what they did wrong, highlight what they did right. If your toddler is playing nicely with a toy, you can say, "I love how you're taking care of your toys." Positive reinforcement not only encourages good behavior, but it also boosts your toddler's self-confidence. Language modeling is another key strategy. Instead of simply telling your toddler not to do something, show them how to do it. For example, if your toddler is struggling with putting away their toys, you can say, "Let's clean up together. First, we put the blocks in the box." This teaches them the desired behavior and reinforces their vocabulary at the same time. Lastly, keep in mind that toddlers thrive on consistency. If you consistently use positive language and redirection, they will start to internalize these behaviors and communicate in more positive ways. Over time, they will begin to respond better to requests and express themselves with fewer tantrums. By focusing on positive communication strategies, you're not only shaping better behavior but also fostering an environment where your toddler feels understood and respected. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We've got more valuable insights coming your way to help you navigate the amazing journey of parenting. See you next time.